Kilo, November 4, Golf Charlie Alpha. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening. What's the name there?
Name here's Mark. I'm down in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Is it Morse, M-O-R-S-E?
M-A-R-K, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo.
Run that past a little slower.
Sure, thanks, sorry about that. Yeah, it's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, Mark.
I got you, Mark. And the radio was what?
YEASU 991A.
Okay, your audio is fairly loose. If you would like a fatter signal, let's go.
Well, let's see what we can do. I did some settings based on, obviously, from somebody else's interpretation, and did some changes to some of the menu settings on it, and I just want to see how that was working. Over.
Okay, your dynamic range is probably around 7% or 7 dB, between 7 and 8 dB. We want to move that down to about 3 dB. So it starts with your compressor. Put your compressor in line at about 3. 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. 30% of its capability. Roger.
Roger that. I got to dig up the menu settings on some of these things to make sure I'm getting in the right place.
All right. Maybe I should just give you notes, and then you can do it at your leisure, Roger?
Fire away.
All right. Inline your compressor at about a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100. Once you get your compressor in line and engaged, move to your AOC meter, and with mic gain in hand, adjust your AOC meter to run mid-scale to 2/3. Just look at your AOC meter, speak in a natural voice, turn your mic gain up to where you're running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Okay, I actually turned it down just a little bit. How's that? A little bit better?
Well, the trick is that you're running mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter. If you're doing that, then, I've got a couple of tricks to go here.
Okay, yep, that's from running. It's right at about 2/3, maybe about 3/4, depending on, of course, what the modulation of my voice or how my voice, pops onto the microphone. Over.
Oh, Roger. Some people have what I call peaky voices, and it's just that their words have an edge, a ballistic edge, about 2 dB or 3 dB hotter than other people's speaking voice. And what you need to do then is, this is something that you might consider. You've got a watt meter, Roger?
Roger that.
All right, put your watt meter in PEP. Most people run their watt meter in RMS, but can you adjust yours in PEP?
Okay, yep, go ahead.
All right, now as you speak, look at your watt meter, and you know the sweet spot that watt meter normally has, and so that is going to be your challenge. You're going to control that with your voice. So as you look at that watt meter, you want to keep it in the sweet spot, and that means that the rate of your speech is going to increase just a little bit, because if it doesn't, you will be seeing your watt meter, like that. But if you speak on a normal rate, your watt meter will reflect pretty much consistent movement towards the sweet spot. So that would be the thing. You just watch your watt meter and try to keep it just at the sweet spot by the level of your voice and your rate. Roger?
Roger that. I will keep, that's a very conscious thing to keep an eye on, and I will do my best to do that. But I want to check here, and I think I got to find some other settings there. Over.
Then your EQ, I would crank in, do you know what your EQ is?
Roger that.
Okay, go to your EQ, and let's see what we got there.
Okay, go ahead. I got like 3 different settings for the EQ. So it's EQ 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, you have a 3-band EQ. Is that a Roger?
Roger that. Then you have the EQ drive, and then you have the bandwidth for each EQ. You have a level and a bandwidth.
All right, you want your bandwidth to be 100 to 2900. If you have multiple, like broad, medium, and narrow, set them all to 100 to 2900. That's the way I would run that radio. That's the way I suggest running all radios at 100 to 2900. It doesn't make any sense to run it otherwise. Some folks think that if they narrow the band, they'll be able to be heard better in a pileup, but that's not the case. What happens is as soon as you move out of the 100 to 2900 and start going to a narrower bandpass, you start restricting the top frequency response of your audio. And that's what you want the most. You want the articulation of your audio to be at maximum, and that can only happen in the 100 to 2900 setting for your bandpass.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah, what this has here is 3 settings for each EQ portion. So there's 3 settings for 1, 3 settings for 2, 3 settings for 3. You have level, bandwidth, and frequency for each EQ setting.
All right. Well, what I would suggest is get your book and figure out how you can maintain the bandpass at 100 to 2900. That's the first thing. You want to always run 100 to 2900. And then as far as the EQ, if you have a 3-band EQ, you want the mid-band to be flat. If you have a 3-band EQ, you want your mid-range EQ to be flat, and that gives the opportunity for your bass and treble to strike balance a lot easier. If you boost your mid-range, that is even further for the bass and treble to have to go to try to catch up for balance. So keep your mid-range EQ flat, and that will help you adjust your balance between your top and bottom EQ. Roger?
Okay, yep, I think I'm starting to figure some of this stuff out here, what these settings are. Yeah, I got the EQ1 at 100, EQ2 at 700, and EQ3 at 2900. It was at 32.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you can do. I would increase that top end EQ even more. How many dB push are you doing right now?
Oh, I got probably about 3 to 5.
And how much more you got?
I don't know how much. I don't have to take a look at it.
All right, try coming a couple more clicks, more top end EQ treble.
Okay, now that's top of the mark there at 3200. That's an EQ3 frequency of 3200.
All right, drop that down to 3. And do you have? Is that a parametric?
I don't know that, sir.
I mean, does it have an adjustable width for that EQ, or is it just straight ahead?
No, there's adjustable width to it.
All right, I would put it on a medium width, top end EQ and a medium width, and run about 3K max boost.
Okay, that's right in the middle there for the bandwidth.
I would leave that right like it is, and go then back to your ALC. Anytime you make a change, you need to go back to your ALC just to see that everything is copacetic. Because when you do make EQ shifts, you do shift your audio level, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on what EQ that you're doing. But you should always refer back to your ALC, because that is the Bible for the radio. It tells you exactly what's going on. So if you're back to your ALC, you want to set that for mid-scale to 2/3. Again, speaking normally at a normal level, and just adjust your mic level to where it does read mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, Roger, that's right about where it's at right now. It actually dropped down just a little bit, so I think it probably got a little bit better.
Roger, sounds fuller, sounds fatter. So I think you got it going on. And again, we are recording this between 3:30 and 5. And if you would like to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. And on that page, you'll be looking for one air check in specific, and that is called My Group Air Check 13120. My Group Air Check 13120. Roger?
My Group Air Check 13120.
Exactly, exactly. And hopefully that'll be on page 1, if not page 1, page 2. But should be on page 1. And then you can hear our workings as we went along and hear the end result. Roger?
Roger that, Jim. I appreciate it. You have yourself a great day. I know there's other people who are looking for your help out there, so I do appreciate it. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, Kilo November 4, Golf Charlie Alpha 73. Have a good afternoon, sir.
Roger, Roger. Mark 3's that way, sir. And you have a great weekend. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, the Qso-Vlog network. We have 10 till 5. We turn into a pumpkin at 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.